Okay, we should now be live, which of course means welcome back to the Storytime network, which of course means, well, that I'm not streaming today, so I've sort of messed up my order here because I can't see the live counter or a green box. Ours. But hey,
Clever
we're
timing
live.
of the stream, by the way, Fuzzy.
Y'all ever think Kenjaku faked an orgasm while he was with Itadori's dad?
Start off with this already.
No,
Welcome back,
Kenjaku is
Fuzzy.
sorry, Itadori's dad is a sexual god, so...
Yes, hello. It is time for for Resurrection F of the Uzzy varietal.
And you're all about to get out.
Look,
DBZA is the gift that keeps on giving.
I had a few ideas for my first line back after my hiatus. I think I delivered one that was in character.
Yes, you did.
Consider making it about Foghorn Leghorn, but no.
No, it'd be much more. The sex stuff is much more in character. And we wouldn't have it any other way.
Speaking of the Foghorn Leghorn meme, I need a God of War version at some point.
Be the change you want to see in the world, Mel.
See, here's the thing. Foghorn Leghorn version is too easy. For a very simple reason. It is far too dependent on, like, the usage of the term boy is far too established in God of War. It doesn't have quite the same impact. You know what I'm saying?
Suppose so.
But, yes, I have returned, and I have a number of juicy topics for you all. While I play Balatro.
What does Balto the dog have to do with this?
Oh god, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah, I remember, like, there was a video, I think it was a Saberspark posted, like, like, half a year ago or so about, like, the declining quality of each, Balto movie. Like, the first one's great, and then there are two sequels that are progressively worse. I didn't even know Balto had sequels.
I'm pretty sure it has more than one sequel!
I said sequels plural, it's two sequels. Which is just like...
Or rather, it has more than two.
It does.
There were a bunch of
God,
direct-to-DVD sequels.
Please, God, no. Don't let him four-time this, man.
Including one that involved Balto communing with the ghosts of his wolf ancestors.
I hope
Yeah,
you know that
tracks.
I have absolutely no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Have you never watched the movie Balto?
No?
Damn.
It's about sled dogs before furries ruined anthropomorphic animals for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But yeah, I have a few things to bring up.
We won't stop you. Go for it.
So,
Well, we
Right.
won't stop you yet.
right. I was gonna. So, y'all are aware of supercontinents, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I went on a Wikipedia rabbit hole recently, and what I learned is that apparently, while plate tectonics is a well understood phenomenon, what you might not expect is that the exact way that the plate tectonics are going to shake out is not as well understood a phenomenon. And so, there's a number of possible models for the inevitable future supercontinent.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And do you know what
Really
one of them
interesting
is?
What?
A massive landmass that circles the Earth from north to south. Does that sound familiar? What if One Piece was the foreshadowing the whole time?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that was exciting to learn about, because that gives credence to the whole, but what if One Piece is Earth in the far future?
Mm-hmm.
Which makes no functional difference to the story, its quality, or my enjoyment thereof, but it's still, like, neat to think about.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up. Another thing I wanted to bring up is I wanted to open your mind to the wonderful world of One Piece power scalers. And by wonderful, I mean, oh my god, why do these people exist?
There's gotta be shit takes at some point.
So they do be thinking One Piece is like solar system level because of an offhanded comment and using out of context quotes to somehow...
What's the offhanded comment?
Like something about the, like, number of islands.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure the number of islands only really is used to suggest that the One Piece planet is bigger than Earth to a degree.
Yeah, and that's true. However, what they don't take into account is the power scalers will extrapolate the number of islands to give up the largest possible planet size. And that leads them to believe that somehow the Thousand Sunny can travel faster than the speed of light.
Okay,
Right.
I do not get how that logic's out at all.
The answer is it doesn't.
Yep, that tracks.
It doesn't make any sense, logical or otherwise, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
But it is really funny the hoops that people will jump through.
I mean, speaking of hoops, I stumbled across a One Piece ships tier list that looked very amusing. Because some of the entries are just like straight up crack ships.
That,
I mean,
as is tradition.
Sanchi was shipped with every single one of his siblings.
See, that doesn't surprise me at all, as much as I wish it did.
Well, inset ships are disturbingly popular in a lot of fandoms.
This is Forbidden Fruit principle. It's not in any way surprising.
Especially with series that, have a large amount of, character interactions between relatives who are, like, close and shit. Chronicles of Narnia infamously has a lot of people who ship the siblings. I wish I was joking.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you aren't. But the other thing that tier list made me realize is that One Piece is one of those fandoms where I don't really ship anybody.
This week,
Yeah, the only ships that really, like, I'm particularly happy with, or particularly happy with, like, advocating for, are the ones that are, like, at least strongly suggested by canon, if not outright stated to be canon. You know, like Rayleigh and Shaki, for example.
Oh no, that's not. That's just outright canon now. One of the data books revealed that they're literally married.
I know. I said like either stated to be canon
okay.
or highly suggested to be canon.
Hmm.
Also, you have a royal flush there, or close to it.
Sadly, I don't have an ace.
Well, you still have a straight flush.
That is true. This,
Which is, you know, that is the second best straight flush you can get.
it's funny, this game has some really... Oh no, I forgot to look at the boss blind.
I don't know how that works.
Basically, it means that I don't get points for anything other than straight flushes, because that's the first hand I played.
Whoops.
In hindsight, not the best of ideas.
Close, but no cigar. Maybe get rid of one of those sixes, and yeah.
I'm out of discards. Welp! Rip the run.
Rip.
And this is why you look at what the boss actually does.
It's a
Before
roguelike.
rules.
This was always going to happen at some point.
Well, no, there is a win. It's 8 bosses per run. So you can win the game without dying.
Cool.
Or else you can win a run without dying. So yeah. Other things I wanted to talk to you about. I have not had anyone to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen's recent chapters, and I need to know how you feel about it, and to see if I'm validated.
Look, Ryuji just... not Ryuji, goddammit, I've been doing too much Persona 5. Yuji just popping the fuck up on Sukuna was fucking amazing.
Oh, I'm not talking about that.
Oh.
I'm talking about the 6 years that Akutami spent jerking off Sukuna.
Oh
before
no,
that,
that's up.
the most recent chapter.
No, I don't think you'll get. I don't think you'll get any argument from either of us that did kind of suck.
Yeah.
But you
Like, we had several chapters straight of a person whose potential rivals even Gojo, and then Sukuna one-shots him. Like, it's funny. It's like he wasn't satisfied just off-screening Gojo in the most unsatisfying way possible. No, he had to indirectly do it over and over again. Like, it's getting to the point... Also, I've learned some other interesting things. Where there's things that are probably coincidences, but really seem like they're far too uncoincidental to be coincidences. For example, the fact that the chapter where Nobara died was her anime debut. Was on the day of her anime debut. I think one of the major women who got murked horribly, I believe that happened on International Women's Day. Things like that. There's more on, like, the subreddit, but... You get what I'm saying?
I don't fully trust subreddit
Jujutsu
stuff
Kaisen
because
aired
that's
on
really unhinged.
Jujutsu Kaisen's first episode aired on a Friday.
What do you mean by that?
How
Jujutsu
could it
Kaisen
How
on
could
Fridays.
it have aired on the same day that Nobara's death or injury chapter was, when Jump comes out on a Monday in Japan and Jujutsu Kaisen came out on a Friday? The anime came out on a Friday.
Look, I just regurgitate the things I hear on I see on Lobotomy Kaisen because it's funny.
I mean, I'm sorry, when you're accusing Akutami of something.
Well, okay.
That
Can you just let me be upset with Akutami for reasons?
No,
you have multiple reasons to be upset with him without conspiratorial bullshit.
You're fine being upset with him.
Like,
I'm upset with him for fucking jerking off Sukuna for so fucking long.
Seriously, what is up with that? Who hurt him?
But like, accusing him of being a misogynist just because.
Oh no! It has nothing to do with a misogynist. What I was suggesting is that he's a meme lord and he intentionally chooses to do things that he finds funny when writing, more so than focusing on the quality of the writing at times.
Maybe, I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch, I think.
Yeah.
Look, I will attempt to find more evidence for this in the future, but otherwise, just like, I don't understand. Like, by the time they decided to bring in, like, members of what's his face's harem, I was like, Ghetto's harem. I was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing? What is the purpose of the most recent, like, dozen or so chapters?
Again, it comes back
what
to what
is the
I've
point
said.
of all this?
Authors like Akutami and Horikoshi have learnt from their, predecessors' mistakes of making their protagonist,
way too fucking overpowered.
Too OP, basically. But they went too far in the other direction. They made their antagonist a bit too OP. And stupid. So, like... in like 5-6 years, we're probably, or maybe even now, I don't fucking know, we probably are going to get to a point where we do get a perfectly balanced series, as all things should be.
Yep. Beat me to it.
I mean, hey, maybe Kagurabachi is that fucking famed series.
Just I'm gonna stop you right there. No.
Why not? What's wrong with Kagurabachi? Kagurabachi is fucking great. I'm not even memeing with that. Kagurabachi is legitimately a really good series thus far.
I believe you.
You have a grudge?
I believe you, but that just makes it funnier.
And hey, it might genuinely be sticking around. The Fujoshis have attached themselves to it.
Oh, that's a big market.
Yeah.
Look, I feel like Shonen Jump would actually make a lot of bang for their buck if they actually leaned into the homoerotic subtext that pops up so frequently in their stuff.
Too many members of their core audience are homophobic for that to work.
Yeah, I know, but like a Jump Plus thing they could work with, honestly. Like Jump Plus, they get a bit more experimental than the standard, like, regular Shonen Jump shit.
Yeah, but as a side effect of that, they also reach a much smaller audience.
You say that, but like, Spy Family.
Spy Family wasn't a Jump Plus exclusive, was it?
It was.
Huh.
Same with Kaiju number 8. Which, not as explosively successful as Spy Family, but still very successful.
Huh.
Like, there have been other hits from Jump Plus, but those are the two most prominent ones.
That is interesting.
Yeah, anyway, Kagurabachi is legitimately good.
It's one of those things where I don't necessarily disbelieve it. The problem is that it's been memed so hard for so long that
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The first, like, maybe 4 or 5 chapters, the memes were genuine. Like, the stuff about it being a, like, amazing series were memes. After that, it started becoming unironic. Genuinely. People, like, I know I memed on it at the start, but this is legitimately really good. I was not one of those people. I liked it unironically from the beginning. But, you know.
So what you're saying is you liked Kagurabachi before it was cool.
Yes. No, I legitimately recommend it. I also recommend series like Akane Banashi and Blue Box.
I've read Blue Box, and it's very good. And I know what you might say. Jack, reading a sports series? What?
There's enough romance in it that Jack is assuaged.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I can do a sports series as long as there's enough other components to something. Like, Megalobox, that's enough cyberpunk bullshit that I am more than happy.
I will say Kill Blue is pretty fun for what it is. That might be nearing an end. We'll see.
For for writing reasons or for jump being jump reasons?
I'm not sure. I don't think it's reaching an end, but there are some worries that it is.
Worries
has that one been
from
going?
people who know what they're talking about, or just worries?
I think just worries.
There are people who know what they're talking about?
Very rarely.
Relatively speaking. So, yeah. I think we can all agree that Gojo? Akutami spending like an entire arc jerking off Sukuna, not the greatest
Not
part
the
of the
greatest
series.
No. Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Part of it is that we are reading it weekly.
You
yeah, I feel
say
like it would
that.
flow a lot better on
I know.
on a binge.
It might not be better in the volume. I don't fucking know. I haven't read it in the volume format.
I have
I'll
binged the
finish it.
Culling games, and those do work a lot better with a binge. And again, as we've said before on stream, when the anime eventually gets to Hikari's bullshit, it is going to be fucking wondrous.
Oh, it is.
Do not get me started on Hikari.
You don't like him?
He's done nothing.
That's categorically untrue, Fuzzy.
Well, he's done nothing meaningful.
That's also categorically untrue, Fuzzy.
What has he done?
He saved Panda's life, which is inherently meaningful.
Okay, that I will give him that one. What else?
And also, he has been stalling Urume constantly since the fight with Sukuna began.
See, that's like
That is meaningful. If it was Urume and Sukuna tag teaming everyone else, it would be a fucking bloodbath even worse than what we already had.
Oh, it'd already be over. It'd already
Exactly.
be over.
yes, but like so okay. I think the reason that matters less to me is because we don't have much of a context for how strong Urume is.
We
To the
do,
point that
though.
it doesn't feel as meaningful that that's literally all Hikari has been doing for the entire Sukuna fight.
I mean, we saw that Urume took out pretty much everyone who was left standing at the end of Shibuya.
Yeah. literally the only person who like forestalled them was, Yuki, who is, an S grade, special grade sorcerer. No one else was even close.
I'm not sure we should be bringing up Yuki if we're trying to defend Akutami here.
No, you really shouldn't. I don't believe.
This is for the purpose of comparative.
Okay, but okay, so I sincerely do not believe that Akutami is some sort of misogynist simply because we don't have enough evidence to say whether he is or not, one way or another. However, he's not been treated his female characters well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the only real exception to that has been Maki so far, and she's the exception that really proves the rule on that front.
And not just that, even Maki, it feels like she's already peaked, which is not a great feeling.
I don't agree with that assessment, though. Honestly.
Like, she had her, like, major victories, but, like, now, she kind of, like...
one of only a handful of people who's actually gone 1v1 with Sukuna and, managed to last.
Well, no, that is more... That's less her problem and more that, Akutami is insistent on jerking off Sukuna to the best of his ability. But I do worry that, because, like, what is there after she had her major feats, then the Sukuna fight started, and what is even there after the Sukuna fight? Is there even anything left?
The series is gonna end.
Yeah. So,
if the series is gonna end, this is where everybody peaks.
Yeah, but everyone's
Sukuna is the final boss. There's nobody after him, hopefully. God, I hope there's nobody after Sukuna.
God.
You think
Please
Akutami?
do not Naruto this, Akutami.
Do you think
please.
Akutami mentioned Sukuna's twin that he ate in the womb as foreshadowing for the fact that that's the final boss?
No.
I doubt that.
I know
specifically
he
giving him
didn't.
a more concrete tie to Yuji.
But it would be really funny if that ended up happening.
It wouldn't be, because it would
It
ruin
would
a, at the very least, decent series.
Yeah.
I do wonder if... I am starting to feel like Jujutsu Kaisen is an example of you die a hero, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
I don't think it necessarily is. I just think it's got its own issues and we sort of... The issues weren't necessarily as apparent, and we ignored some of them because it had definitely, course-corrected from some of the issues of, the older series that we read. And so we're like, oh, it's the new generation, it's so much better. But it's, it's not a perfect series. It's still got its own issues that, are becoming very apparent now as we get into the end game.
I don't think there's a single series, like, of serialized media period that is not without issues. Like, even the best of the series that we know of, like, they have their issues. But at the same time, like, there's always Jujutsu Kaisen is on the better side of Jump's offerings. Like, a substantial margin. I don't know if that says more about Jump's offerings than it does about Jujutsu Kaisen, but yeah.
I think it says a bit about both. I mean, the point is, even with its problems, Jujutsu Kaisen is still definitely an improvement on, older
Naruto.
material, like Naruto.
We still have that roast up coming.
I mean, just the fact that it's not going to go on for fucking 700 chapters pointlessly is a mark in its favor.
I do appreciate that most of the Shonen Jump series have decided not to outstay their welcome, even if I do wish they weren't as rushed on the endings.
I mean, that's the thing, you know. Compare it to Demon Slayer that absolutely did rush it. I think it's done a better job of pacing than Demon Slayer.
Low bar, but still.
Yeah, low bar. But, you know, in terms of comparing new gen stuff.
Yes.
Okay. I do agree with all of that. However...
God damn it.
Really? You don't... God damn it, me. You know that...
I knew there was a however coming, and I'm just I always get, like, annoyed when I mentally call those.
Anyway, what were you going to say, Fuzzy?
My however is very simple. We should always hope for improvement.
No, and I'm not saying we shouldn't.
I think we can acknowledge where it succeeded, but that doesn't mean we should ignore where it's failed.
No, and I
agree.
I don't think any of us are. I think just the disagreement is where the failure is.
Yeah.
But I also don't think we should, you know, condemn it to the pits of failure just because it has those issues. I think we should recognize the fact that, yes, it is an improvement. I mean, you know me, Fuzzy. I'm not going to be the type of person who, you know, is like, no, Jujutsu Kaisen improved on this series. That means it's perfect, and nothing can be said against it. I'm not that type of person.
No, I know you're not. I'm just like...
No, I'm that person for Kagurabachi. Kagurabachi is perfect and cannot be improved upon. I'm kidding.
Of course, we're all rational adults here.
Well...
I mean, that's the thing. Kagurabachi is 29 chapters in. Maybe 100 chapters is gonna fucking suck. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I do feel like 29 chapters is a bit too early to call it.
No, it is. It's still too early to call it fucking survival, for God's sake.
I mean, it's not gonna be U19 at least.
No, but, you know, even if it's got decent enough sales and, you know, a good following, I've seen with Phantom Seer that does not necessarily imply survival.
Not to mention, like, we got the case of, like, the fact of the matter is the editor-in-chief is the one who makes calls at the end of the day.
I mean, let's just have a look. Kagurabachi. Average rank of 11.77 is not amazing, if I'm honest. I wouldn't call it, you know,
Revolutionary.
I mean, obviously it's not revolutionary. It's not Axe territory necessarily. That's generally, I think, 13-ish and below in terms of average. But you know, it's not in a position where I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely really confident that this is going to survive. I think I'm going to get annoyed at another another gag manga surviving past where I think it should.
Well, that's just we need
to
to
know you as much as High School Family.
Look. I'm not saying that
I don't think it's going to be as bad as High School Family, because I really set myself against that one because I also thought the art was ugly.
I mean, it was ugly art.
Yeah. So I don't think I'm going to have as much I mean, so in terms of average rank, Mission Yosakura Family has an average rank of 11.6A. So...
middling, basically.
And that survived until 223.
Yeah, I've heard it's
Fingers
reasonably popular, not anything like spectacular, but
Yeah.
So,
I mean, hell, Yosakura family had a run of really low fucking table of contents.
to be fair, though,
Around the time where series get axed, so...
to be fair, it has an inherent advantage by being a bit more comedy-focused than Kagurabachi is from all reports.
That is
Kagurabachi
true.
has comedy, is just mostly understated comedy.
We all know that might as well be no comedy.
But
Like-
it is, yeah. Yeah, I know.
I also learned recently that apparently in South Korea, the incels hold enough of are a high enough population that they were that appealing to them is what won the current his presidency.
I'm not shocked. Also, there's a whole ass movement of women just wholesale doing the Lysistrata thing.
The what now?
Just completely boycotting any form of dating, relationship, marriage, children, period. Like, a massive percentage of the female population of South Korea is just, completely boycotted anything of that sort. So there's, entire districts that, don't have enough first graders to fill a single classroom at this point.
Which, again, I do not blame them, because given what the average South Korean man seems to think, based on the demographic data, I wouldn't want to either, if I was them.
No, exactly. I don't blame them. It is honestly kind of understandable, given, what I know about the misogyny of the culture.
That and the truly horrific levels of hypercapitalism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, South Korea's not doing great.
Going back to Jump, though, Undead Unlock has an average rank of 12.26, and that's gone to fucking 204 chapters, so... Kagurabachi should be fine, especially considering we've just had a round of axings, so it'll be at least another sort of 2-3 months before we get another round.
Yeah, another thing to keep in mind is I keep hearing Undead Unluck gets better, but I never have wanted to bother with
Well, you have to
giving that
accept
a shot
that.
because
Because here's the thing. It gets better, from what I can tell, and this is mostly secondhand, but it gets better in the sense that the writing and art, the writing and plot direction gets better, but not in the sense that the core premise that is based on gag comedy involving sexual assault gets better. That stays the same.
That's annoying.
From what I can understand. So it's better in that sense, but it's definitely not better in any meaningful sense of the word.
Good to know. You got 2 pair already with Kings and Fives.
It's not enough. It's an extra large blind. I need flushes.
Or a full house could help.
Do I have a full house potential? I guess I have to.
Yeah, you just need to get rid of all the cards that aren't your Kings and Fives.
Yeah, that might work. Problem is, I'm out of discards. I got rid of a 5. I'm stupid.
No, you didn't get rid of a 5. You have
Yes, I did.
fives.
No, I had 2 5s. I should have
You do
3.
have 2 5s.
No, I drew this 5 this turn, which means I got rid of. I'm holding R.
Oof.
That had the makings of a good run, but
Oh well. Oh well.
But yes, I do believe that Kagurabachi probably loses points in the minds of the editors and people for, like, the decision makers for not being a more of an outright comedy.
Possibly.
I really hope that doesn't sink it. I really, really hope so.
And we've had serious manga doing fairly well beforehand. Well, Jujutsu Kaisen is mostly pretty serious at this point.
Yeah, but it started a lot more comedic.
Ooh, you got straight. You just need a 9 to get another straight. Or a 4.
Just like in real life, in this game, straights are difficult and often not worth the trouble.
Also, here's the other thing. Jump is going to be losing My Hero very soon. It's going to be losing Jujutsu Kaisen very soon. It's going to be losing One Piece in the next,
Well,
years.
Look.
Can they afford to get rid of a series that, is probably a fairly big hit in the West, at the very least?
I actually have a counterpoint to that. And you're not gonna like this.
The West doesn't care about. Jump doesn't care about the West.
No. My counterpoint is, if that is the case, and they are going to be out of fuel, so to speak, I kind of hope it gets axed, even if it is good.
Why?
Because I want to see Jump hemorrhage a little bit.
Some men just want to watch the world burn, Mel.
No. Well, yes, but, also, no. Because, while it is lovely to watch the pretty flames, that's not why I want to watch Jump start to hemorrhage a little bit. The reason I want to watch...
You don't want them to be as much of an industry leader as they currently are.
Or at least to realize that the direction they've been leading it is not as
profitable as
they think. Right? I want them to lose their big...
I can see that. On the other hand, Kagurabachi is not that big right now. In terms of sales.
What I mean is, after they've, lost... stuff like My Hero and JJK and One Piece. After they've lost that, I want to see them hemorrhage a little bit, so that they can realize, oh, we have made a mistake by taking our focus off of that. And not necessarily more that I don't want Kagurabachi to become the thing that saves them, if that makes sense. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
That without Kagurabachi having to die.
I don't know if that's the case. I do genuinely think there needs to come a time where they just have axed all of the good series from Shonen Jump and are left with the things that they think will be profitable. And I just want them to have to suffer that pain.
I mean, I get wanting corporate to suffer because they are corpos and corpos are evil. But at the same time, that'll also fuck over creators, Fuzzy.
It will for a while, and also,
I don't really accept the whole thing of it is necessary for the little guy to suffer a little bit for...
No. It's not that. It's more that I also think that it might be possible that more authors will start to, like, go in the direction of other ones.
Oh, other publishers?
Other publishers, yeah. Because, like, the thing is, now more than ever, Jump may be the industry leader, but they are by no means the only game in town.
No,
Not anymore.
Like, there are several other magazines that have been putting out big hits.
Yeah.
Some are still under the Shueisha umbrella, mind you, but they're not Jump.
Yeah, so yes, I do believe that fundamentally it will not harm creators as much because they have options in a way that they didn't a few years ago.
I can understand what you're saying, Fuzzy, but on the other hand, you can pry the series that I really like from my cold dead hands.
No, I get that, but, like, the sad and realistic fact of the matter is that you probably, like, it's not like either of us can influence it one way or another.
No, and that is the disappointing aspect of it, is that we do have so little control, seemingly.
I mean, that is just the facts of life under a capitalistic system, sadly.
Fucking meat grinder.
Yep, we simply don't matter. In any
Not on
way
our
that's
own,
meaningful.
collectively.
So, okay. This is gonna get me flack, but realistically, I don't believe I don't believe human beings are collectively minded enough to realistically be able to affect major change. Because we cannot...
They were, though.
Huh?
But we have been, though, on multiple occasions throughout our history. Like, most of the time, that progress has only been really halted by powerful individuals using literally everything in their ability in order to gain that upper hand back. Like, you see it with the unionization movement in America in the early 1900s. You see it with a lot of revolutions. You see it in just a lot of smaller scale things too. Like, just because... So, psychologically speaking, I know that humanity isn't necessarily collectively minded, but more so tribally minded. Like, well, tribalism is a lot more...
That's one of the things... That's one of the primary things I'm worried about, is that...
The thing is, to gain that psychology, you just have to redefine what the tribe is.
Yes, but my thought is that perhaps the ruling class has already redefined the tribes in such a way that benefits them possibly irreversibly.
See, I don't think it's irreversible, though. It'll just be a really fucking painful process getting it reversed. But it's not irreversible. The path to change is never quick or easy. And trying to take a shortcut on that path is, you know, rarely ever going to work well. But yes, let's change subject to something less heavy, shall we? I think you'll like this topic, Fuzzy. What are the ethics of, No, that's not right. That's not right at all. Darn, I had a train of thought, but it's derailed. Damn it.
Hooray for ADHD!
Woot woot! Oh, right. What are the ethics of engaging in cannibalism in a scenario in which you will die otherwise?
I'm not the right person to ask about this. For reasons that are implied, but I will not state outright for the purposes of liability.
You'd
Fuzzy.
you'd resort to cannibalism way too quickly.
No, clearly he's a Donner Party fanboy. Gosh.
I will neither confirm nor deny any allegations about my curiosity about cannibalism, shall we say.
You would say that. I kid.
You cannot say you haven't, thought about
I've
it.
looked up some pretty fucked up stuff to sate my curiosity, Fuzzy.
No, but like, have you really never wondered, what people taste like?
Maybe idly once or twice, but like, never seriously.
Right. Me neither.
Right
Totally.
Royal flush.
I mean, I suppose that creates the question of, at what point does an intrusive thought just become a thought?
This is so I hate to derail again, but can we just talk about One Piece power scaling instead?
Sure.
So we understand that the people who believe that One Piece individuals are solar system level, they're crazy people.
They're nonsense talkers.
Yes, they are speaking straight tomfoolery and buffoonery and nonsense. Now, what I think is a more interesting question is, who is the weakest One Piece character? Okay, this is actually a series of questions that I've been meaning to ask. And this is a game we can play quite often. Who is the weakest character from Property X who can solo Universe Y?
Hmm.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that is an interesting question, don't you think?
It is.
Yep.
So, for example, who is the weakest character from One Piece who can solo the JJK universe? I have a contender.
The characters have supernatural bullshit.
Yeah, but that's just hockey by any other name. No, I have a controversial pick who may not necessarily be able to solo the JJK universe, but certainly would be able solo the entire JJK universe, but would certainly be able to handle the vast majority.
Please,
Buggy.
state your case.
Buggy D Clown.
I mean, fucking Sukuna wouldn't be able to do shit to him.
Exactly.
Which is funny.
I would love to see Sukuna get his shit kicked in by Buggy D Clown.
I mean, I'm not sure Buggy would be able to do anything to him back, but
No, because he's vulnerable to standard weaponry. So theoretically, Buggy could chop him up. Also, let's not forget, the baseline strength and durability of One Piece characters is a lot higher.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%.
I mean, that does remind me of I think it was an Instagram reel I saw where people were talking about who would be weakest out of Luffy without his devil fruit, Goku not being a Saiyan, Naruto without Kurama, and Gojo without Infinity.
I'd say Naruto.
They were trying to argue Luffy, or at least one person was trying to argue Luffy.
Okay, but may I present to you the example of fucking Garb?
No. The people who argue Luffy are just people who either haven't read One Piece or have no media literacy, so we don't care about their opinions.
Exactly.
An argument, okay, an argument can be made for Gojo as well. Depending on the base level. Well, actually, no, here's the thing. Nart without Fox still has the whole Uzumaki level chakra reserves. So he still has his magic system.
Which does allow for some pretty high level bullshit. Yeah.
Yes. For example, Sage Mode by itself will put him in the upper categories. I would honestly say
I'd say the winner of the pool though.
Goku is the winner. And
Because he can blow up fucking planets even without being a Saiyan.
Yes. Luffy is probably second. I honestly think Gojo comes last because the ceiling of JJK is so much lower than the ceiling of Nart.
It's a more grounded power system, which is in its favor, but not for power scaling arguments between series. The Gojo did beat Makima in a death battle, so that's fun.
I don't like Death Battle as a
I know.
series for a multitude of reasons.
I figured as much.
Right, straights are going to be easier to make now, but they're also going to be so much harder to find with my ADHD brain. Because we can make them with gaps of 1 now. So like 2, 3, 5, 7, 8 is a valid straight.
Oh, nice. Hey, use your neurodivergence to your advantage, right?
But yes, Would Gojo beat Makima?
Yeah. Assuming you put the respective power systems in such a way that they operate on the same principle.
Yeah, no. No, here's the thing. There's nothing Makima can do to hurt Gojo. But wouldn't Gojo have to kill the entire population of Japan?
Not necessarily. I think like
that's her thing, right? Is like she does her damage transfer shenanigans to the entire population of Japan.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, I don't know if it's like if he'd have to kill the entire population, or if it's just like it's randomized enough such that it would eventually get to the point where I don't remember how they
No, if I recall correctly, any harm she suffers is redirected to a random person in Japan. But that implies that as long as there's living people left in Japan, she will not suffer any permanent harm. So he would either have to kill the entire population of Japan, or somehow isolate her, and then you'd have to make the argument of would, in this scenario, Domain isolate her from the rest of the population.
I believe it's argued that it did, and also that his domain couldn't be rolled as an attack because it's not an actual like attack in of itself. It's just sensory overload.
No, because intent is more important than based on how she ended up dying in the first place. Intent seems to be more important. If it's intended as an attack, then it probably would go through.
Well, if it's intended as a quarantine more than an attack in and of itself.
I don't know. It would be a tricky thing. You'd have to be very like. Here's the thing: Gojo absolutely could kill the entire population of Japan. Whether or not he would
want to. Yeah.
Well, depending on the sort of day he's having. Look, Gojo is many things. A paragon of moral virtue is not one of them.
True.
But yeah, I do believe Gojo in that argument would be the weakest. But yes, let's get back to the question. I do believe Buggy could beat Sukuna, just given enough time. I believe he would wear him down.
Mm-hmm.
You just like stab him over and over again, and like death by 1,000 cuts him, which would be very satisfying to see, especially given what has been going on.
Attrition is a viable strategy. Anyone who says attrition isn't a viable strategy is weak sauce.
But yeah, so I do believe, I do believe, Buggy could probably deal with the vast majority of the, JJK universe. You could make an argument that,
he'd probably have a hard time with, like, heavenly restriction types.
But no, but that's also taking into account the fact that the base level of physicality in One Piece is so much higher. The difference in gravity alone would give him an almost unbeatable advantage. But I honestly think Buggy has probably tanked hits that would leave Toji in the hospital.
That's entirely possible. Probably even.
This is just how the rules operate. So yes, I believe
he did take Buggy to one of his like mini grenade things to the face. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sukuna's not going to be able to tank that many muggy balls.
Yeah.
So, in summation, all Buggy has to do to solo the JJK universe is throw his balls around.
God damn it.
Very funny to say. Just
It would be.
Buggy clowning on fucking Sukuna.
Because he would! It would not even be that difficult, I think.
Okay, let me, because we've been talking a lot about the negatives of JJK. Let me talk about something I feel like is a positive. Akutami has been very steadfast in Sukuna and Kenjaku being complete fucking monsters.
Oh yeah.
There is no tragic backstory. There is no, like, even a semi-attempt at redemption. They are monsters, and they are gonna have to be fucking taken down.
Unrepentantly evil bastards with no hope of redemption, nor desire for it.
It gets into that thing you posted. I don't know, I forget who posted it exactly. But the whole, we like seeing, we dislike surprise villains more than we dislike villains who wear their villainy on their sleeve, or something to that effect.
I don't think it's even that so much as just like disliking villain, like how a lot of series have had it where it's like, oh, this villain isn't evil really, he's just misunderstood, and he's like, meanwhile he's just committing genocide on puppies or some shit. And it's like, yeah, sure fam, this genocidal maniac is just misunderstood, and that's why he's committing atrocities left, right, and center. He's just a silly little guy.
I'm gonna be honest. This is a sort of whatchamacallit.
This is a dig at Naruto, isn't it?
No, this is a dig at My Hero.
Yeah.
Oh, the Shigaraki stuff, yeah.
So okay.
Shigaraki and Toga.
No. Toga makes sense to me. Toga makes sense to me because people are horny little freaks.
It might make sense. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
No. That's perfectly fair and valid. But like, you should realize that the reason Toga is popular isn't because she has a sympathetic backstory. It's because people are horny little freaks.
You have a flush, Fuzzy.
Yeah, I know. I was doing a thing. So yeah, that's like. Is Toga's popularity pleasant? Not really. Is it surprising? Not remotely. Shigaraki doesn't make sense to me as much, mainly his popularity at least. Mainly because, okay, no, his popularity makes sense to me for one simple reason. He's a gamer. And
I was gonna say, is it because he's been poor little meowed?
No.
It's also a dig at Demon Slayer, just as a side note.
Okay.
Demon Slayer did it in the most funny, like, in the most tone-deaf, funny way that it could have, which almost makes it better for me. In that
It rarely ever worked.
No. What it did was it literally had every single character be given a tragic backstory after they'd already been killed.
Yeah.
And that's just...
Or after they'd been killed or as they were about to die.
As they were dying, yes. And here's the thing. To me, that made it veer into so bad it's good territory. Like, it was... At that point, it just became funny to me, personally.
I mean, it was very funny. By the end of the series, it was just downright fucking comical.
By the end of the series, it was just more annoying than anything else, but it was...
Somebody who was actually spending money on the volumes and, having to wait several months between releases. It wasn't funny, just boring and annoying.
See, there's your problem, Mel. Spending money on things you can read for free.
Honestly, yeah, Demon Slayer I should not have bought. I shouldn't have bought it. I should have just read it online.
Yeah, that was very much a you problem, Bill.
No, I admit that. That was my fault.
Full house.
Doesn't mean I can't blame Demon Slayer for being shit, but,
Oh, no, you are within your rights to do so.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about die a hero, die a hero or live long enough to become the villain, Demon Slayer definitely fits that criteria perfectly.
It was very much a flash in the pan of episode 19 releasing and people going, holy shit, look at this animation. And then people actually started watching Demon Slayer, and then they were like, oh, okay. This is a choice for a story, I guess. This is a choice for pacing, I guess. Oh, this pacing that already wasn't great in the manga, Ufotable is kind of making worse? Oh, hey. Cool.
To be fair, people were all up everyone else's asses about Demon Slayer for like the first season and change. Like I think it was like through Mugen Train, and then the hype was like,
shocker! The Entertainment District arc is what turned people against fucking Demon Slayer.
not entirely, but it was like kind of like where the momentum halted.
I really don't like the Entertainment District arc.
I don't mind it, honestly.
It was made even worse in the anime. It really was.
You did not like the dude's voice.
That didn't help, but it was also just slow.
Demon Slayer is one of those series that works best binged, in my opinion.
I was binging it! It didn't make it better!
Again, I'm not trying to contradict you here, Mel.
And here's the thing. I think there are nearly no series that can actually get away with 1 hour long episodes or double length episodes. Like even Oshinoko, I think just barely managed to actually, pull it off. Just barely.
Oshinoko, I think in that case, it's a case of like, it would have been really hard to parse that out into separate episodes. Like that one that like.
I genuinely think it would. I think it would have been possible, and I still think it would have worked fine. But it's not a hill I'm willing to die on. Oshinoko's double-length episode, or however long it was, it worked.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer does not need hour-long premieres and hour-long finales. It does not. There is no reason to give Demon Slayer episodes of that length.
Yeah, it doesn't even have incest in it.
None.
Well,
Okay, I know that's a shot at Oshinoko.
well, okay. If you think about it, it does kind of have incest in many ways.
Oh no, apparently it's actually maybe going towards that.
No, I was talking about Demon Slayer.
Oh, Demon Slayer. Oh, right.
Because couples do apparently reincarnate as siblings in that.
That was weird. That was really weird.
That was very, very weird.
Yeah.
I kind of get it. Like they're being reincarnated into their descendants.
But it's still weird. It's a very weird energy. Also, it's it's a.
Oh, and also, having completely just bad couples all round, basically. Like, what was the highest we ranked a Demon Slayer couple?
I think the highest one got was like either. No, we got the Polycule was in B. Everything else was C or below.
Okay, Polycule was B. Polycule barely counts though, because I'm more talking about the end game couples.
They were endgame though. Tengen and his wives survived.
Yeah, they survived, but you know what I mean. The ones that got together, only in the end game.
Yes.
Also, Nezuko and Zenitsu actually getting together is a crime.
We put that near the bottom of D.
Like the only reason it wasn't.
No, we put that right at the bottom of D.
The only reason it wasn't in F was because we saved F for the truly yikes shit.
Do you want to hear what's in F?
Yes, please.
Top of F, Sasuke and Sakura.
Right below them, Light and Misa from Death Note.
Can I make a counterpoint about Sasuke and Sakura?
Yeah, go on.
They deserve each other.
Don't care. Still bad.
No, but they're both.
We have another couple in there that deserve each other. That doesn't change the fact that they're an F tier couple.
Because they are toxic as fuck.
Yeah. So below Light and Misa, Eren and Mikasa, because toxic as fuck. Then fucking oh god, I don't even remember their names.
Shirei and what's her name?
Akito? Is it Akito? Yeah.
Akito, yes.
Fruits Basket. That's the one I was talking about. Because they deserve each other. Doesn't mean that couple.
Oh yeah, I hate that. Look, do you understand in hindsight why I turned so harshly on Fruits Basket?
I mean, I understand why you did.
Yes.
Because you're a very all or nothing person. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is something you do.
Mm-hmm.
Look, can you blame me when with a series like Fruits Basket and how that and what that Anyway,
I don't think that couple ruined the show. I think it lessened the show somewhat. I don't think it ruined it.
Yeah, but below them is the NTR couple from Darling in the Franxx.
There's an NTR couple in Darling in the Franxx?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Kinda, sorta, mostly. Yeah.
That's weird, but sure.
And the very bottom couple, Meliodas and Elizabeth from Seven Deadly Sins.
The thing that somehow manages to be every single possible predatory relationship in one.
Yep, that's why it's bottom.
So fucking gross.
That
On
is
so
why
many fucking levels.
That is why that couple is the bottom of our list.
Like,
Yep.
in so many, like, I cannot even begin to describe the sheer number of ways that couple is just horrifying and toxic.
Mm-hmm.
No, you are correct.
No, you're 100% correct. 100% correct.
But,
Can you guess our top 5 couples, though?
no, because it's much more difficult to wrap my mind around good things than bad things. That's just how my brain
No.
works, unfortunately.
Number 5, the Curtises from Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, okay. I heard Full Metal Alchemist and it was like, I forgot that the Curtises existed momentarily. Yes, no, that's pretty high up there.
I mean, Ed and Winry is 7th, so
Yeah.
maybe you're judging us for that? I don't know.
No,
Also, this list was just canon couples, not couples that were like loosely implied to maybe probably get together. Yeah. Number 4 was the lead couple of Given. Unsurprisingly. Number 3 was Mai and Sakuta from Bunny Girl Senpai.
I'm less of a fan of that one.
Ooh.
It's just that series is tainted for me in some very weird decisions that it made later on past the anime. Like, this is the problem with someone who, like me, who does not stop with the anime.
Are you
Right?
talking about the stuff that got adapted into the movie?
Probably, yes.
Because I remember you freaking out about it, and then it's like, it got resolved in literally the next volume of the...
Yeah, but that was the latest volume out at the time. When a series ends on that, when a volume ends on that, you can understand my apprehension.
On the one hand, I get it. On the other hand, cliffhangers have been a thing since, like, a very, very fucking long time ago. Since, like, the advent of serialized media.
It didn't just end on a cliffhanger. It ended on a full downer without actually even hinting at the thing that was going to be the resolution.
Considering Aniplex hates Britain, I have no idea what you're talking about.
You watched the first movie, right?
Yeah, once, like, before the pandemic.
So I'm pretty sure... So the movie adapted volumes 6 and 7. I believe the breaking point, the split point between the two novels is Mai's death.
Ah, okay.
I remember Fuzzy freaking the fuck out about it.
I can understand that, then.
Yep. But at the same time, like, again, it does get resolved in literally the next volume.
Yes, but like the fact that happened without even a hint of a resolution was just like, it could have gone either way.
Fuzzy, I get it, but like, it was not my experience with the series for one, and for two, like, I'm willing to give series the benefit of the doubt if they can resolve that kind of thing. If I think they can resolve that thing, and I did trust the series to be able to do so.
I think you just have more faith in authors than I do, inherently.
I mean, Jack's standards are somewhat painfully low sometimes.
Hey.
Look, look, you're right, but you shouldn't say it outright.
You sure I shouldn't say it?
Yes, because it hurt my feelings.
Am I wrong, Jack?
Mostly.
That's not a no.
I also said sometimes. Sometimes painfully.
The sometimes qualifier does. Yeah.
It's not always, and in this case, you were right to, trust Bunny Girl Senpai. But
Yes.
there are other cases where you really shouldn't.
Yes, 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 I am aware. But yes, anyways, top 2 ships, do you want to take any guesses?
I have no idea what was even on the list, so I cannot even begin to fathom a guess.
It's canon anime couples, like from a lot
No,
of
but like, I
well,
can't actually think of any of those off the top of my head.
Okay, fair enough. Number 2 is Kyo and Toru from Fruits Basket. Fuzzy, come on. They're a good couple. Even if you dislike the series because of, you know, the shit couple. And number 1 is you and Toko from Bloom Into You.
Okay, I 100% support that. But yes, let's play a bit more of the which character of X property could solo Y universe. Why don't you guys pick something?
Weakest Dragon Ball character that could solo Naruto.
Oh boy.
Okay, we have to make some qualifiers here.
They can't
Because
be a Saiyan.
no, more so than that. We need to figure out circa which arc.
Let's go with circa... Let's go with circa Cell Saga. At the latest.
I'm pretty sure Krillin Cell Saga... I'm pretty sure Yamcha Cell Saga could make a good... Could, like, hand most of Nart their asses.
Yeah, at that point we will be dipping into, like, the lower rung, like Roshi.
I mean, Roshi made it to the Tournament of Power, so... You know.
And Roshi does some weird, power bullshits.
Yeah, ironically, Roshi might not necessarily be the, best qualifier. But yes, okay. I think here is where the Nart universe has an out. Dragon Ball characters generally don't do so well against conceptual powers.
Yes.
So that is a potential sticking point.
That is, in fact, a possible weakness, yes.
So, like, most of the illusion BS probably doesn't end well for the Dragon Ball guys. Most of the more weird conceptual stuff probably doesn't end too well for the Dragon Ball guys. But on the whole, I think, especially circa Cell Saga, basically any named character on a purely, like, physical level takes it.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good question, because there are definitely overlaps and also places where they might not overlap as much.
Yep.
Okay. Who is the weakest Nart character that could beat a Straw Hat in a fight? Any Straw Hat.
The thing is, even the weakest Straw Hats have some crazy bullshit gimmicks.
Yes, which is why this is an interesting question, because most of the Nart characters at the in the end game also have crazy BS gimmicks.
And another thing to keep in mind is that, with regard to One Piece, we actually don't know if the Straw Hats have hit their endgame power levels yet.
No, but then in that case we don't have to necessarily use endgame Nart characters either. We can figure out an
So I
approximation.
believe Oda has said that, canonically speaking, Usopp is the weakest Straw Hats.
Yes.
Always.
By design, yes.
You have a flush there.
Well, that would have been nice. Well, it didn't matter anyway, but like... So, okay. Who's the weakest Nart character that can beat Usopp, then, is our question.
I think that Shikamaru might be able to. He has the requisite smarts to compensate for his relative weakness.
It's not like Usopp's, defenses are great, so he's not exactly... Well, no. He's made of iron, like everyone else in the, One Piece universe.
Oh, yeah, no, Shikamaru would absolutely have to, you know, do a battle of attrition. Like, he's smart enough, but, like, I don't think he has the power to beat Usopp in a single stroke. Like, you'd have to be legitimately, like, fairly high tier to actually one-shot most, like, relevant
I
One
don't
Piece
think you can
characters.
really one-shot any One Piece character realistically unless you're, like, Dragon Ball level.
Yeah.
Because, like, these are people
Yeah, they
who, by the sheer
can-
power of will, can probably tank, a City Buster.
And that's been the case.
Yeah, like, a weak-ass character like Wiper, which, look, I don't mean to disparage Wiper, but, like, he did survive stuff like a point-blank reject dial.
And also getting fried with like a massive bolt of lightning.
Yeah, so...
And that's not even getting to the fucking Pell stuff.
Pell is genuinely just a case of Oda for gore. He's like, oh, do I want to use this character later? Maybe. Let's just do some...
I think Oda also just, like... Oda could possibly maybe justify it in retrospect with, like, Pell awakening hockey in that moment or some shit, but, like...
Well, no, it's just that, like, the more we learn about Zoans, the more we realize they're low-key the strongest type of devil fruit, so... He could also justify it after the fact by saying that Pell's bird fruit is not just a simple Zoan.
Yeah. There are any number of ways you could justify it ex post facto.
I'm using fancy
It-
words now, are we?
It's literally just after the fact.
Yes, I know, but you said it in Latin, which automatically makes you the enemy of the common people. That's a joke,
Look.
but just look. Yeah, I do think mistakes have been made. So I do believe there's definitely a case to be made for no character being able to one-shot any given One Piece character. Because I do believe that's just true unless they can, like, literally blow up a planet.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty
Or at
sure...
the very least, like, disintegrate an island or some shit.
I mean... certain people have survived that, so it's not like that's a guarantee either.
Hmm. Yeah, but those people are freaks of nature. Oh, I need to step away for a moment. I'll be right back.
But, Mill, you've been a bit quiet. Are you too
Yeah,
busy?
I'm playing I'm playing
Yes,
Yu-Gi-Oh! Map.
I know. I saw the Steam notification. Would you like to comment on the discussion we've been having thus far?
Remind me what it was?
Weakest Nart character that could beat Usopp.
Weakest not character that could beat Usopp.
Jack's first instinct is Shikamaru.
I feel like there's got to be a weaker character than Shikamaru that could do it. I'm just... I mean, also, where are we putting Shikamaru on the power scaling, you know?
Well, that's the thing, is that because they're not endgame, we're using a non-endgame variant of whatever character that we're applying as well, so, it could really go either way. Or rather, we basically need to figure out a place that's near endgame, but not actually fully at endgame.
Yeah.
So that could be any number of people, granted, but but you are right. There should probably be someone weaker than Shikamaru who clears Usopp.
But again, it's very much a, you know, at what point are we counting Shikamaru? You know, where does Shikamaru land?
Let's say pre-Great War.
Right, pre-Great War. Shikamaru's not... He's pretty good, but he's not, like, you know... massively overpowered, is he?
Yeah, one more.
Shikamaru was never massively overpowered. He's like always been the thinking strategy guy more than like the strong guy of the group, you know?
But he was still pretty strong. Yeah, I mean, he took out fucking even if it was mostly with smarts, he was still able to take out the fucking immortal guy.
True, he was.
I mean, I'm thinking of people like, would Choji count? You know, is Choji's
actually pretty strong.
Yeah.
Like, if we're talking weak weak Naruto characters, we're probably just talking about, like, below Shikamaru, it's mostly fodder. In terms of, like, actual combat ability.
Yeah.
Rather than, like,
what was fucking Ino's ability again?
I think it was body swapping.
Right.
Which can be very useful if you know your own limits, but...
Yeah.
And if you know the parameters of the other person as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, her ability is much more like utility based than combat based. Like, I don't know that squad. I'm pretty sure Choji's the only one who has like a directly combat based technique.
Mm-hmm.
Shikamaru and Ino both use more utility based abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Which, hey, there's nothing wrong with having utility-based techniques, but... they don't exactly speak to strength in and of themselves.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Fuzzy.
We talking about feet? Because I'm not into that.
No.
I was making a joke about, you know, feats strength. And...
It would have worked better if either of us had said feats beforehand. Oh well.
I mean, I thought you did. Maybe I was just hearing things.
Maybe. Perhaps.
But yeah, what is your conclusion then after discussing it a bit more.
I think Choji would have a decent shot.
So here's the thing. Choji, love him. He's not the sharpest bulb in the drawer, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Usopp very much is on the smarter end of things.
You're not wrong.
It's very... Usopp is easily one of the smarter Straw Hats. Which, given the average being dragged down so far by Luffy and Zoro, is, you know, not a high bar, but still.
It's not a high bar, but it's not, like, necessarily a low bar, given the fact that, they also have people like Nami on the crew.
Nami, Robin, Chopper, and Frankie are all
okay, here's the thing.
People.
No. Nami and Robin, absolutely. The thing is, Chopper and Frankie are very intelligent people. Whether or not they're smart is a different question entirely. You know what I'm saying?
Chopper had human-level intelligence for like 3 years before earning a doctorate-level education in medicine.
No. What I'm saying is they have high int, but smartness isn't just your int score.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Frankie and Chopper have incredibly high int. Their whiz is much more questionable.
Frankie, I think, has pretty good wisdom comparatively. Especially since, you know, he was a street smart world.
Compared to the average, yes. But, like, not to the same level as Nami and Robin, is what I'm trying to say.
I do think that Frankie also does have it going for him, that he was able to engineer for himself, you know, engineer himself into a cyborg.
That's int, not whiz.
Alright, Fuzzy, you do remember that Nami's wisdom goes out the fucking window the moment.
No, I'm not saying Nami's whiz is particularly high either. I'm just saying that it's in a totally different tier when compared to the rest. To Chopper and Robin. Or Chopper and Frankie.
The thing, though, Fuzzy, is that I think you're kind of finagling the definition of intelligence here. Because, like, intelligence is a combination of intelligence and wisdom, yes. But, like, trying to, like, downplay the intelligence of the characters just because they're not as world-wise as some of the others is kind of, you know, moving the goalposts a bit, you know? Because
my brother in Christ, moving the goalposts is literally everything we do on this stream.
Anyways, I will say that.
But that actually does bring up a good question. What makes you believe Choji is weaker than Shikamaru? Or Choji?
I don't think Choji's weaker than Shikamaru. I think Choji is.
Well, the question was, who is the weakest character that can beat Usopp?
What are we defining as strength, though?
Combat ability, I believe.
Then you've got to take into account Shikamaru's intelligence. In which case,
because Shikamaru has a lot of.
But it's okay. So here's the thing: Shikamaru is the Batman of the Nart universe, with the ever ephemeral concept of prep time. Shikamaru with prep time could probably clear even like the higher tiers if he knew exactly what he was getting into.
Choji, I don't think could.
No, he could not. So yes, by that metric, we would... But again, if it's a sudden, we need to. 1 second.
But yeah, without actually defining what strength is in these circumstances, we can't justifiably say, you know, who would come out on top.
Mm. This is the problem with power scaling, especially across universes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back. Hello?
Hello. So
Yeah, we
with
were
that-
just talking about how it's hard to kind of like to get like a precise like precisely define who would win in a given fight, given we don't know who's comparable and how.
Yeah.
Like, comparing across universes, especially.
It's not impossible, it's just, it can be a bit tricky. More so than other things.
Yep. You can make it straight.
How are you so much quicker at spotting those?
Pattern recognition. Sometimes I miss patterns though too, so yeah. Yeah, power scaling across universes can be difficult, especially because like if there's like any possible interaction between power systems, especially, it can just fuck up every single possible calculation.
Yeah, for example,
Like, how would Ki react to Chakra, for example?
there's
I mean, not the best example because, like,
one is
90%
vastly
of
more
very
powerful than
broadcast.
the other just based on observation.
Okay, first energy in Chakra. Oh,
Thing is,
full house. You got 3 aces and 2 kings.
yeah, but you also have to take in mind that my 2 pair is higher level than my full house.
Huh.
Never mind, it doesn't matter. But yeah, generally what ends up happening when you're trying to compare magic systems, because that's what we're doing, we're comparing magic systems. What ends up happening when you're comparing magic systems is that you have to establish certain ground rules, and whether or not those ground rules are followed is... You basically have to, A, approach it from a place of good faith, but B, make a reasonable argument for why your ground rules are valid and should be followed. And those are not the...
You're approaching me? Sorry.
Indeed. So... It is definitely the case that, there are going to be allowances you have to make just based on whether or not you are willing to accept certain things as being self-evident.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those things is with magic systems especially, you have to essentially allow for the fact that all magic systems are reduced to their effects while ignoring their lore implications. And what that means for other systems. For example, that's not that big a deal with just raw power-based systems. Because you can just say, well, when it comes to raw power, it's fine, because this system is just stronger than this other system. For example, with Ki versus Chakra, right? Like, the lowest level stuff you can do with Ki are much bigger than the lowest level stuff you can do with Chakra.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even Babby's first Kamehameha is much stronger than Babby's first Chakra-infused punch.
Like, even the Rasengan just pales in comparison to the Kamehameha.
Yes. And the Rasengan is multiple times shown to not...
3-8.
Huh?
3 of kind of the 8s.
Yeah, I'm gonna fish for like a full house or something. And I
There you go.
But yeah, like, the Rasengan is already, the Rasengan, which is a powerful technique, is stated multiple times to not necessarily be an easy technique to do. So you can't even, in good conscience, consider it Babby's first chakra technique.
No,
Whereas
exactly.
the Kamehameha and energy waves in general are essentially the literal weakest thing you can do.
Well, the Kamehameha is not a weak technique, but like even
simplest.
weak techniques,
Yes,
like
simplest.
say the Dodon Ray, for example.
Yeah, okay, that's an even better example. The Dodon Ray probably would allow you to solo early Nart. Right?
Yeah.
Like, at least the Dodon Ray would carry you up till the tuning exam, if not higher.
Yeah. It'd honestly be pretty fucking easy.
I need to watch/read OG Dragon Ball again.
I got like the first 3 volumes in a large tankobon.
Honestly,
Not.
you're probably
recently.
better off, playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3. There's some more fun...
Well, it's a matter of just experiencing the manga.
Yeah, well, okay,
For
there
what
is
it
that.
is.
And the fact that, Bulma shows up topless in that manga multiple times, somehow. Because apparently that was cool back in the day, is just showing a literal child.
15, 16-year-old, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, they also showed Goku's dick as a 12-year-old a lot.
Yeah, they have weird. They have very different definitions of nudity, or rather, what constitutes inappropriate nudity.
yeah, it's just... It's not great either way, but anyway, Bulma's shower scenes aside, because there's apparently quite a few of those where they just show a lot more than they should by any decent account. But it's definitely an experience that's to go through the manga, so I wouldn't fault you for that. But what were we talking about? Oh yes, the power scaling. Yeah, early Dragon Ball is still higher power level than almost anything pre-time skip, really. Like, the end of... If we consider the time skips to be the demarcating points, which makes sense because they do take up the majority post-time skip stuff does take up the majority of a given series, then Goku versus, like, the stuff Goku and Piccolo do at the end of Dragon Ball are, like, I don't think Naruto versus Sasuke at the end holds a candle to that. Right?
Yeah.
They were both
I mean, the
basically
fights-
city busters by that point already.
Yeah, the fight's all fun and all, and whatnots and all that jazz, but like, yeah, they're not like, oh, we got full house.
Yes, but,
Jackson 8s.
yes, but I get bonuses if I play exactly 4 cards.
Huh.
That's the thing. This isn't just poker. You also have to take into account the different jokers you have, the different, like, boss effects and things like that. It's poker with extra steps.
Yep.
But yes, okay, yes. Getting back to the discussion, and I do want to have a formal discussion about this at some point, but getting back to the discussion of, energy system, like power systems versus, each other. You do have to take into account that for, at the very least, the non-conceptual stuff, you have to allow that energy A equates to energy B.
That is how the Death Battle thing handled the Makima and Gojo fight. It said, like, Devils and Curse Energy run on the same fuel and stuff. And just sidestepped the question of, like, how those two different magic systems would interact. Which is probably the smart call.
Well, here's the thing. You don't even need to do that. You don't even need to say that they run on the same fuel. And there's a very simple reason for that. They have different purposes. Devils, it would be like saying that cursed spirits and devils follow the same rules. Right? But that's not...
That is
that
what they
wasn't
went with. They went with the whole thing of, like, they are functionally the same power system for this fight. In order to simplify things, because otherwise it'd get really complicated, because you know how convoluted the power systems are for both of those. Or they can get, rather. Ooh, 2-pair.
2-pair is kind of useless in the early game.
You're one away from a straight.
Better off fishing for a full house. So yes, the other thing you basically need to do when dealing with power systems is you need to approach from good faith how... So, I believe... Okay, let me qualify this then. You can classify this as having 2 separate types of... 2 separate categories for your magic system. You've got your energy system, which is the, Are you saying something, or...?
No, it's just background noise, don't worry about it.
Okay. An energy system, which is cursed energy, and then the inherent rules of the magic system, which is a bit different. So, one example of this is, we have been shown recently that you can hockey your way through devil fruit effects. which had not previously been shown.
I mean, it was implied kind of by the whole ability of like armament hockey to, affect Logias.
But it was more, it was less that and more the fact that even conceptual or more like abstract devil fruit effects could be countered by just sheer brute force of hockey.
Yeah.
Which is not something that we had previously known or had been implied.
Correct.
So there is a... So that's something. So, if you are approaching it from a place of good faith, you would invariably come to the conclusion that you can hockey your way through curse techniques if you're conflating those two, if you're putting those two universes against each other. Right? That makes sense, right?
Yeah, it all gels.
So, in a similar way, it's how conceptual techniques, a domain can counteract conceptual abilities.
Yeah.
Which, now that I think about it, makes sense that a domain would nullify Makima's damage redirection.
Yep.
Because it makes sense if you think about it. If you are taking them as the same base, then yes, cursed techniques would allow you to
do similar bullshit, yes.
Yes. So, that's one aspect of it. Another aspect of it is, once you get the ground rules out of the way, you have to decide, okay, what are we going to... There needs to be a sort of order of operations that you have to introduce. What takes precedent in a given situation? The conceptual BS or the other stuff? Does that matter? How or why does it or does it not matter? Right? Like, that's where you make it. So what I'm trying to say is that you can, like with basically anything, boil this down to a science. I sincerely believe that. I believe
absolutely.
It is possible to fundamentally boil down the concept of death battles, such as they are, into a replicable science. Now, the question is, how easy is that? The answer to that is, unsurprisingly, not very.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact remains that it is probably possible. So yes, I feel like I almost feel like we could probably get away with doing something with that at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We do have some other things to tackle before we get there, though.
Like what?
We have to finish that One Piece all characters tier list, for example.
Ah, yes. Also, speaking of, how long have we been going?
About
almost 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours now.
I think I can play out this round, but then we could probably wrap it up.
Also, we need to finish Jojinopoly.
Heck.
I think we can probably... I say this as the person who was winning that, I think at this point no one wants to revisit a weeks-old game of Monopoly.
I do.
Okay, well, I would
I
love
don't.
to as well, but I don't want to put Jack through that level of suffering.
I'm already on the record as saying I don't like Monopoly for the reasons of ruining friendships. It is like the most egregious game about it.
I feel like Monopoly's just has that reputation just because it is a, you know, more of a common game, and I feel like any like competitive aspect game where you are against each other has that same element.
I think it's
Perhaps.
because somewhat uniquely in terms of board games at least, Monopoly is a zero-sum game, which is not unique, but where the primary gameplay
Objective.
loop is to frick over your friends.
Again, though, there are absolutely more games like that.
But Monopoly is the most widespread.
Yes, and that's what I said.
But yes, thank you everyone for joining us as I once again bring poorly worded arguments to the table. Hopefully on a more regular basis now. But we're not going to talk about future stuff because I'm assuming that's something we just don't do anymore because we have no...
We stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturday, and Sundays, and that's as far as I'm going, because otherwise
Yeah,
I just...
it was honestly asking a bunch of neurodivergent in the most unproductive sort of ways possible people to properly form and stick to a schedule. Maybe not the best of ideas that we've had in hindsight.
Now, I'm not in the most unproductive of ways, but it's close. It's close.
Look, you are not neurodivergent for legal reasons.
Yes, I'm aware.
But yes, thank you everyone for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Later.